Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how I made my Doric archaic style chiton based on the bronze figure that I am basing my new archaic panoply on. These are really quite simple to make and very important for reenactment, so let's get started. So I've gone ahead and got myself some 100% virgin wool, so make sure that you keep the Thebans away from it. This is a really nice sort of wine red wool fabric, which I think is sort of perfect for what we're after here. I've also gone ahead and got some wool fringe. This is actually just from Amazon. I'll see if I can leave a link in the description below. This is from my local wool growers. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can also get some decent wool that other members in our group have used to make their chitons. My overall size here is about 1.5 meters, give or take. It will depend on your body size, but I would say 1.5 meters is a pretty good starting point. And height, I have a little bit more than what I need, just because that's what they sold in the store. But you need around maybe 45 inches, depending again on your sort of height. And of course, extra you can use to cut, and you can make a belt or headbands, whatever else you need for your reenactment impression. This we see on the bronze figure that I'm recreating, and that I will also be embroidering the pattern on. So that's sort of why I'm adding this wool fringe. I think it looks quite nice as well. But it's because I'm specifically recreating this certain bronze figure for my archaic panoply. You can also leave this out, but I think it's a really nice addition and adds some flair to the chiton that otherwise doesn't have. So I've decided that I am actually going to hem it, so I'm going to do that first, just hem that edge over. I like to personally do hand stitching, as it is just more authentic, but it just, I don't know, gives it more of a realistic feel, I guess, you know, all of it being done by hand. You could use a sewing machine, but it will just give you a very perfect result, which, again, I quite like my stuff done by hand, and from afar, you really can't see it. So I'm then going to just continue about a quarter of the way, third of the way, keep going over there, and then I'm going to stitch in my wool fringe on the back, so you don't see sort of the modern machine-done parts. So at long last, I've finally managed to stitch the whole length of my chiton here. I can definitely understand why you might want to do this machine sewn. I'm just stubborn in that way. I've decided, instead of then going to stitch my fringe on, I'm actually going to do my embroidery first, because if I mess it up, which hopefully I don't, if I mess it up, I can snip it off at this length here, which I'm going to have to shorten this anyways. If you're not doing embroidery, which we don't know whether embroidery was a historically done technique, but it's highly likely that something similar was done. Either way, it's an easy and effective way for us to do it today. Then you can go ahead and, of course, do your wool fringe. But I'm going to go ahead and start my embroidery, and just as a fail-safe, in case I mess it up, here I can cut this sort of half a foot section and redo it, which hopefully I don't have to do, but we'll see how it goes. What I've gone ahead and done is just cut a template out for how far up I want my design to start, and I've just got some clothes pegs and held it in place, and I'm literally just doing a really small embroidery line that will go all the way across the piece, and then another one up here, and then I'll fill it in with my Greek key. Alrighty, so I've managed to get some progress in on the embroidery here, and I quite like how it looks. The colour match is pretty good, and I've just put this under to see how it's going to go. So I'm going to have to, again, finish that all the way to that side. And then I'm thinking probably up here, we'll do another one, and that's where my Greek key is going to go. So it's a lot of work, it's going to take a lot of time, but hopefully the final result will be worth it. Okay, after literally 3 days of working and probably about over 10 hours of work, the embroidery side is done. I'm actually really pleased with how it turned out. This is my second time ever doing embroidery. I have then just today stitched in the wool fringe, and I think that it has a really nice effect. So the next thing is going to be to trim it to the right length or height. So what I'm going to do to calculate the length that I need is I'm actually just going to take an old chiton that I'd made. I believe it's around 44 inches, but you roughly want a garment that hangs to the knee or just below before being tied up. So whatever distance that is roughly where you want to cut it. And then, of course, when you tie it and pull it up to be a little bit baggy, you want it sort of mid-thigh or a third up from the bottom of the thigh. So I've cut mine, it's at about 45 inches, thought I'd give myself a little bit extra just in case. The next stage we're going to turn it inside out, and I'm going to stitch up the sides and then the top, and then we'll see what we're doing with sleeves and head holes. But turn it inside out because then we want to flip it back over after we've stitched, so you have you don't have the stitch side showing. Now for all the other stages, that's sort of more personal choice if you want to do the embroidery. This stage is more of the actual creation of the garment itself, so how we're going to make this. So I think it's going to be easier to probably stitch the top first, leaving the head hole, and then I can gauge how big I want my sleeves to be. As unlike the Ionic chiton, the Doric chiton is more like a Roman tunica, it actually has sort of sleeves on it. So I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm actually going to use some wax thread for this, because I think it's just going to give me a little bit more strength, it's a little bit more robust than the sort of thread that I used to attach the woolen fringe, because I don't want this garment falling apart on me, of course. So I'm going to do that and gauge lots of it. It's just sort of by trial and error how big I need that head hole to be. So I'm going to start probably that side just to make sure that they are lined up. Come in a little bit, I'm going to gauge how big I roughly want this neck hole to be coming from here, and then you're going to have to cut down to around there also for the sleeve on that side, and then stitch the rest of that side, and then fold it inside out, and we're done. So at long last, it is finally all stitched up. My armholes I've done at about 10 inches, and the neck here is about 15. This you can play around with, I may end up shortening. And yeah, here it is done. Overall, I'm actually really happy with it. I think it has a quite good resemblance to the original bronze figure, and the colour and the fit I think are actually really quite nice. With the Spartans, which is where this impression is sort of focused on, we have descriptions of them later on by Xenophon basically wearing finicus, or donned in finicus, which is a type of dye where the muscle that it was made from teemed in the Laconia Bay. We don't know really what colour this was though. It's commonly associated as being red, however it could also be purple, so I sort of chose this in-between tone as I feel like it was a very sort of rich red colour that sort of walks on that fine line of purple and red. Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope that it helped you in your reenactment endeavours, or I hope that you just enjoyed the process anyways. If you did enjoy it and would like to support the channel, then please consider liking and subscribing, and if you'd like to go the extra mile, checking out our channel memberships or our historical based merch. Thank you very much for our channel members for offering the additional support, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video.